How many fingers am I holding up?
10. It's amazing.
He's an amazing man. All right, predictive abilities of Jeff. So what is our next topic?
Let's talk a little bit about training.
Training.
Yeah, as far as not like on the tracks engineer type of training.
Okay.
Workouts.
I just lost a bundle at the track.
I know where you were going with it. Workouts. Those that have been following along and have also been following with the system that I teach, which is basic MaxOT principles, have noticed that there are some workouts, specifically like we'll say like shoulders, where I've evolved it a little bit to where we're focusing, like in the past, a lot of my workouts would have had like overhead presses and then side laterals and rear laterals, which is what I did as well. Mm-hmm. But the more I get, the more years into it, the more thought into it, the less and less things like side lateral and rear lateral make sense to me, because they're not as efficient for achieving load, because we're not really built to do that. We're not built to hand a heavy weight going out to the side. If we were, we would have been designed different mechanically. So therefore, it started to make less sense to me to do, and make more sense to overhead press, because that's the most efficient way to achieve load. That's how we're meant to move heavy weights, is like this.
That's how Atlas holds up the world.
Well, it is. That's right. And we're obviously still spinning, so that's a good thing. So to have a more efficient means of achieving load, to me it makes more sense to have just overhead pressing. So Stuart's and many of my new programs will have just overhead pressing and not the side or rear laterals. And you got to think about this too. The rear deltoid gets a ton of work during back exercises and deadlifts. So that takes care of that. Shoulders also get an immense amount of work on bench pressing and incline benching and pretty much everything you're doing all week long. It just doesn't need it. So if I had to do it all over again, I currently work out that way too. I just do overhead pressing, but I mean, even if I was going for broke, I would still just do that. So there's nothing wrong with doing those. Yeah. It won't hurt, but I strive to make things more efficient, more result producing, and really focusing in on what are we mechanically designed to do. So that explains why that.
You're talking about standing
or seated.
Standing or seated. I prefer standing, and I'll tell you why. Is that
please do.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Is that you really get an overall workout because you're standing, and we sit a lot during the day. So I prefer standing, and when you see yourself pressing something while you're standing up, you really get a sense of, like, I don't know.
How cool you are.
How cool I am, masculine. No, it's like, look at me, I can bench 20 pounds. Hey, look at this, ladies. No, it's really not like that. But no, it's just that you
See, he's doing it right there, overhead pressing.
But it's like when you're standing, I just feel like everything's engaged. Your lower back, your legs, your balance, all of it. And when you're sitting, it just seems like there's a little bit more control, but I just prefer the standing.
Well, I think both are great. I think both are result producing. I think there's a benefit to standing, particularly if you do not have a spotter, because by yourself trying to get the bar on and off a military press is very difficult. So therefore, I think it's great when you're by yourself. But you're right. The standing engages the core a little bit more. But again, I think both are going to produce a real good result. So do the one you feel strongest with and best with, and I would support either one.
There you go. He supports it.
One last thing on the training.
Okay.
I had a question about, would it be wrong or hurtful to add more sets? And the answer is yes, it is hurtful because the volume is very specific to the result, in the sense like the MaxOT system that I teach, we want low set volume because it's all about overloading the muscle, not fatiguing it. We want to create a signal for growth, the best signal for growth, and not, which is loading the muscle, and we want a low volume of sets to not lead to overtraining. Unlike other systems, we don't want to fatigue the muscle. We don't want to do set after set, rep after rep, because that's less effective at building and signaling muscle growth. So my strong recommendation is do not add more sets, because once you start changing the principles, you're no longer doing my system. So do whatever system you want, but if you want to try this one, don't change it.
Well, and we know that this system works. If you've been following along, the difference that I'm achieving in just 11 weeks has been unbelievable.
And I might add, and that's with just with putting in, you know, solid effort but not going crazy, right? I mean,
Right,
you're not,
yeah.
you haven't been like a slave
No,
to it,
no.
but you've been putting in good effort, consistent effort, and it's producing that. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but you know, when I'm in the gym though, I mean, I am
You're-
working and I'm intense, I'm focused.
And I'm focused, and I'll be right back.
All right. Well, while Jeff is gone,
Hi. How you guys doing?
I'll,
Great.
but what I'll say is that when I'm at the gym, as you've probably seen in the little videos that I've been putting out of my workouts, is that I don't have a workout partner, and I only have a short amount of time because I got to get to work. So I get to the gym between about 5:30, 5:45, and I'm out of there by 6:30. Shower, shave, have my second meal, well actually my breakfast after my pre and post workout, and then off I go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. But because it's so concentrated, I am not socializing. I use that period of time to totally focus on what I have at hand.
As it should be.
Yeah, and it's very intense, and when I'm done, you see the sweat on me. I mean, it's
Yep.
I am completely exhausted.
Efficient, effective, bang, bang, boom.
Yeah. You know, and what did you say before the Christmas break? You said do A, do B, do
Yep.
C. How hard can it be?
There you are.
There you go. So do A, B, do.
Jingle bells.
All right.